What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another vlog. Welcome back to vlog number 6. So for today's vlog, I'm going to be taking an FTP test. For those of you that have been following along for the last few years, you'll know that I picked up cycling just over a year ago. So I've started working with my friend Gus, who is a coach. Whilst we are kind of at home, then it gives me a really good opportunity to, do a lot of indoor training and kind of work on power and kind of my strength on the bike. Let's get this FTP test done. Okay, so I've got the tripod set up here. As I don't want to be messing around with cameras as I'm doing this test, I want to give it everything. And obviously you guys will know my setup from the other day, but I'm using the Wahoo KICKR. That is linked to my Zwift profile, and I'm going to be doing the test via Zwift. Feeling pretty anxious actually about it. A little bit like, I don't know, it's just one of those things where you've got to go somewhere that is, giving everything you've got physically, mentally. So I think I'm just kind of getting myself into that zone really. I'm excited to kind of see where I'm at because this kind of gives me a baseline of kind of, like I said earlier, like where to work from. So the first bit is a warm up at 82 watts for 5 minutes. So yeah, pretty chill at the start. Okay. Oh man, it's so hot in here, even with the fan and the doors open. I think I picked the hottest day so far to do this. Okay, I've got 2 minutes left of my 6 minute at 1:30, and then it's into the actual 20-minute FTP test. So we've done all the warm up and the kind of ramps and stuff like that to get the legs, I guess, flowing and going. Yeah, all right, here goes. All right, I didn't even see the number, so I don't even know what it is. So when I'm feeling less sick, I'm gonna go inside and have a look at all the stats and stuff, but my chain came off annoyingly, so I don't know how much that affects, but I'm definitely lower than I thought I was gonna be, which is a shame, but I'm happy I've kind of got that done and out of the way. But yeah, I'm just gonna chill here for a little bit and then we'll talk through the numbers. Is this a good angle? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my God.
You know you chose to do that though, yeah?
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna sleep out here for a while. Yes, pasta. Okay, so time to go through the numbers. Now, rather than me do a terrible job of explaining this, I thought I'd get my coach Gus on a video call to kind of talk through the test so I can understand it a little bit more. So this is my friend Gus, and we actually met out in Lesotho on a trip we did with the guys from Curve. And we got on really well, and obviously I found out that Gus was a coach, and I thought it'd be so great to work together. He was just on an epic trip around the world. He was down in South America, but obviously with everything going on, he's had to head back to Australia. So let's get him on the call, and let's have a chat with him about this FTP.
All right, can you see me?
Oh yeah, yeah, you're good, mate.
A bit dark.
Looking great.
No, you said, man. You said.
So FTP, what does that really mean? Like, that word obviously in cycling gets thrown around a lot. It was when I first started cycling, I had no idea what it was.
Yeah, it does get thrown around a lot. It's probably simpler than what most people maybe think when they first hear it, but it essentially stands for functional threshold power. Mm-hmm. And the idea being it's the maximal average power that you can sustain for 1 hour. Mm-hmm. Because that number then sort of ends up giving you a range of power zones. And the power zones are basically how we train. Your FTP is the basis for all of your training, and it allows you to accurately know what you're riding at.
Yeah.
But also track improvement.
That's one of the reasons I wanted to work with you, is because I didn't pay attention and haven't paid attention to any numbers or anything like that before. And I think, you know, for me to, I guess, be the best cyclist I can be, you know, I'm going to need to follow some kind of training and pay attention to that to kind of build on, I guess, foundations or whatever.
You shouldn't feel like you're on your own, because as we've sort of spoken about, your story of how you've gotten into cycling and your journey up to this point, you're not on your own in that journey. It's a bit of a classic story which a lot of cyclists would identify with. That's where a coach can really help, but that's where changing your training is really going to be the thing that allows that to happen.
Yeah.
So this is the file for the FTP test that you did.
I remember, obviously, we've kind of talked about FTP tests, and what you recommended was to, you know, not go out as hard as I could, but try and kind of keep to a power number that I think I can sustain throughout the whole 20 minutes, and kind of break it down into 4 chunks of 5. Obviously it's a 20-minute test with a few ramps at the beginning, right? I think mentally I knew that, one, I was at the start, so I was kind of feeling more fresh, and then I was at the end chunk. I knew that I only had 5 minutes left. Like, anyone can do anything for 5 minutes, do you know what I mean? So that's kind of the mentality behind it. And I think when you're in the middle of it, you feel like, oh shit, I'm only halfway, you know? How did I do in terms of maintaining a consistent level? Oh no, did I not do very well? Shit.
So yeah, if we have a look at your graph here,
yes.
So this is the file that you did there yesterday. Now what I've got highlighted, it comes up as interval 9.
Yeah.
So that is the 20-minute effort that you've undertaken. Now the green line that you see goes along here sort of in a relatively flat line. That is your power output.
Okay.
The red line up above is your heart rate.
Yeah.
Now, the first thing that I would sort of bring to your attention, I guess, is the first 3 to 5 minutes there.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a look, there's quite a big spike right at the very beginning where you're like a bull in a china shop and you've gotten a little bit excited and you've gone headed first into it. If we have a look at this first sort of 3 to 5 minutes,
yes,
your power is quite above your current threshold.
Okay.
So the dotted line that runs across there is your threshold that's set.
Yeah.
Now, so for the first sort of few minutes, there's a bit of a spike there. Now, what that means is you've gone a little bit too hard at the beginning.
Okay.
Not hugely hard. You haven't gone out too crazily, but you've definitely, I would say, you've expended a little bit of energy there. For somebody who this is one of your first real FTP tests, you've actually done pretty well.
Okay.
Most people in the first few FTP tests that they'll do, you'll see a really big spike in that first 3 to 5 minutes, and where the adrenaline's pumping. Is excited to do a big test. If we then start to have a look at the first 10 minutes of your effort, let's say, and I'll just select that. So this first 10 minutes or so here. Yeah. What you can see is the green line. Yes, there's a few ups and downs in it, and it's, you know, there's a few dips and peaks and troughs, but that's pretty normal. It's very, very almost near impossible to have a power line that's perfectly flat. Sure. So now what we start to see on the second set of 10 minutes here is the peaks and the troughs in the graph are a little bit higher. So you see there's sort of deeper valleys and higher peaks. What that's indicating is that the fatigue is starting to set in, and possibly where, as we said in the first, you know, in that first couple of minutes of the test, where you've maybe gone out just a little bit too hard, you're starting to pay for it towards the end here. Mate, overall, a pretty good test, I would say. Okay. We spoke about you trying to hold a number of around about 240 watts. Now, the power number that you ended up holding for the 20 minutes, your average was 226. Okay. So pretty good. Yeah. Pretty good. You know, what's that? 14 watts off the target, which was 240. Now, and you got to keep in mind, mate, that this is your first or second real ever FTP test. Now, what that means is the FTP, so your functional threshold power, comes out at 215 watts. But the exciting thing is it really sets a benchmark for us to move forward.
Yeah.
So it might have been a number a little bit lower than what you were hoping.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because like for me, you know, when you have a number in your head and you're like, I want to hit that. And I guess because it's under that, you're like, oh fuck, I could have gone harder, or I could have done better, or, you know, now I'm in my head, I'm like, well, I'm unfit, I'm not as strong as I thought I was, etc.
Considering that you haven't been doing a huge amount of riding,
yeah,
the riding that you sort of have been doing, it's been fairly unstructured, it's
mm-hmm.
been sort of fairly random, depending on when you've had the time available.
Mm-hmm.
So the sessions that you've done as well have been quite different. So,
yeah.
You wouldn't expect you to have, one, a great deal of condition, a great deal of fitness, and you wouldn't expect your threshold to be quite high,
yeah,
because you've just not been doing the training.
Yeah.
So in terms of have you been stronger and fitter in the past, I would say yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we look back to when you were, for example, doing the ride through the US, where you were doing, you know, some big Ks, and it was quite a large period of time where you were riding every day.
Yeah.
But obviously you would have been very fit, and your
mm-hmm.
threshold would have probably been a bit higher than what it is now.
Yeah. Hearing that number and having it a bit lower than I thought, I actually find that quite motivating. That's my, you know, as I let it kind of sit for the last few minutes, I actually think that's quite motivating for me, because I'm like, well, it's a little bit lower than I thought, but that means that I really want to work on getting to the goal that I want to get to. Because I guess if it had been more of like, if it had been more higher than I expected, or around that number, I'd been like, oh, okay, well, I'm already doing enough to kind of get to that. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm already doing enough to kind of keep to those numbers, so you know, I can kind of get by doing this. Whereas now I'm like, well, it's lower than I thought, so therefore I do need to put in the effort, and I do need to work to some kind of training to actually get to, I'm not just going to magically be over here, because in my head I'm like, well, yeah, I'm obviously just going to be over here.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just kind of being honest with myself and being like, do you know what? It's motivating. I'm here. I thought I was a bit higher, but actually what I need to do now is work on that. I've got that as a number to work on and be really consistent with kind of the sessions that we're working on, that you're setting me.
It's exciting, mate.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a motivational carrot for you.
And I'm definitely the type of person that needs that carrot. Amazing, man. Yeah, appreciate your time, bro. Really appreciate your time.
Awesome, mate.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so there you go. Hopefully that was insightful for you guys. Thank you so much to Gus for jumping on that call with me and explaining everything. And if you are looking for a cycling coach, I honestly couldn't recommend his services more. I will link all of his FTP training details in the description below for you guys to take a look. I wanted to be really honest with you guys. Now, I actually was in two minds about sharing this video, because I guess, you know, I wanted that number to be higher. I guess I thought I was stronger, and as Gus said, I think I probably have been stronger. However, the reality is I've been cycling for a year, and I haven't been cycling consistently at all. I haven't followed any training. You know, 2 years ago, I was 103 kilograms, and cycling has completely changed my life. I have to be honest with myself and be like, if I want to get to the position of being, you know, stronger on a bike, into the position where I want to be at numbers-wise, then I have to put in the effort. I have to follow training, and I guess doing this and putting this out there, I've got nothing to prove, and hopefully it might inspire some of you guys to kind of get out there and ride the bike. And obviously this is a lot of information around FTP and numbers and all that kind of stuff, just because I find that quite interesting. It's the next steps in, I guess, my cycling journey and understanding those stats. However, just get out and ride. It doesn't really matter about your FTP. It doesn't matter about all these numbers and stuff. What matters is the love of cycling, getting out there with your friends, solo at the moment, but getting out there and riding, being amongst nature, experiencing things, yeah, having it as a passion. I think that's why I've kind of fallen in love with it so much. It's just because it is fitness and there are goals that I want to achieve from it. However, fundamentally, it is something that I absolutely love doing, regardless of strength and conditioning and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I thought I'd just leave you on that. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you have, subscribe if you haven't already. I'm trying to keep the content kind of different, you know, and follow things that I'm into whilst we're in this lockdown period. So obviously there's going to be stuff around cycling, there's going to be stuff around what we're doing at home, there's going to be stuff around photography and filmmaking and that kind of stuff. So hopefully you're enjoying the variety of what's going on. Anyway, I'll leave you with that. Thanks so much. Get out there. Make sure you're riding solo, guys. Make sure we are abiding the rules. Let's not ruin it for everyone in terms of having the privilege of riding right now. So yeah, make sure you're riding solo, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye-bye.